What is up, guys? This is David from Bronx Banter coming at you with another episode. I promise you, I'll be coming out with much more frequent content, frequent episodes. Recently, I believe as of this upcoming Friday, I'll be coming out with the first live show on this channel, first episode of the catch up. Want to announce it here. Super excited. So if you're ready and prepared to see that episode and tune in, I plan on recording that at 7 p.m. live. So 7 p.m. live Friday night. Be ready on YouTube. I'll make sure to put a reminder so you guys do not miss out. It's going to be super fun time. We're going to be doing a little bit of a spring training kickoff episode, talking about what we've seen this last week in spring training, as we are literally starting spring training games tomorrow. Super excited. Now, hopping right into this episode, we're talking about Gleyber Torres and the Yankees and their relationship and it possibly extending and not extending, letting him walk, signing him in free agency. What does all of this look like? There's been recent news, recent comments from both Gleyber, from both the front office, from both just reporters as well, giving their opinions. A little bit of news kind of bubbling up about that as of recent. So I really wanted to talk about it. And if you don't know, earlier on in this channel, when I first started, we talked a lot about this as well in the trade deadline and even a little bit in the off season, starting this past off season as well. So I'll kind of want to retouch about this because it seems very unlikely that they're going to go ahead and sign Gleyber Torres. Just to kind of cut to the chase and let you guys know, I would go as far as saying as it's almost 100% not happening that they're going to extend Gleyber Torres. There's so much evidence to kind of prove this, and I kind of wanted to break it down here. And you guys may be thinking I'm crazy. And listen, I'm not a reporter. I'm not solidifying this, but I'm giving my personal take on my personal opinion and thoughts from everything I've understood and collected and read. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, I'm not saying the Gleyber Torres is not going to be a Yankee ever again, and this is his last season guaranteed. I'm saying the idea of an extension with Gleyber it almost seems not impossible, but just in terms of the reality of it happening, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. It's very possible. The Yankees have the money. The Yankees could do it if they want to, but I just don't think the Yankees want to. And the reason why I don't think so is so let's backtrack a little bit. Let's bring up why we're even talking about this right now in this moment. There was a report that came out and said that the Yankees haven't spoken to Gleyber Torres up until this point at all about extensions, haven't entertained it, haven't talked about it, nothing like that, haven't even brought it up. And then a few days after, or even maybe a couple of hours after, Gleyber Torres publicly said that he wants to be a Yankee for life when asked about this thought and everything regarding his extension and free agency coming up. He wants to be a Yankee for life, and I think he went as far as saying that he understands that he has something still to prove this season. So that's a little bit of exciting to see what kind of production we could get out of Gleyber, seeing that he has a little chip on his shoulder heading into free agency. And also, it kind of hurts a little bit. I love Gleyber. I loved Gleyber even when his down seasons that he wasn't the 39 home run Gleyber that he was, or even I believe he got 26 home runs last year with a very strong on base batting average, low strikeout percentage. I like him even in his miscues. Not that I love those miscues, but I still value Gleyber as a player, and I would have welcomed an extension or signing in this free agency. Now, something I thought I'd mention is that these comments from Gleyber is going to do one of two things, or if not both things. It's either going to drive up the price for him in free agency for other teams, just being linked to the Yankees and wanting to go to the Yankees. It's going to probably cost a little bit more to pry Gleyber away from the Yankees. Or two, it's going to drive down the price of Gleyber Torres for the Yankees, which may come into conflict if Gleyber Torres is looking for a certain price and what that may look like. And all of these comments, all of this bubbling news about this extension talks have been going on for the past, I believe, 2 off seasons, and have kind of been left under the radar because of all the news with Judge getting an extension and the drama there, and then Judge getting his big contract and obviously making captain, understandably, deservingly so. But Gleyber Torres's free agency and extension talks have been kind of put on the back burner, now kind of brought into light a little bit more. But from what it looks like, I don't think the Yankees are going to go ahead and extend and entertain these extension talks with Gleyber Torres. With actually how Steinbrenner as of recently, in his recent pressure, coming out and saying that he doesn't typically like doing extensions and that that's typically not how they like to do business. Not that they won't do it, but he doesn't prefer it. Now, this is regarding Soto, but I could see how this kind of went about the same way with Judge, that they gave him a laughable extension offer, probably knowing that that Judge wasn't going to accept it, and then knowing that they were going to have to pay up in free agency. Now, obviously, Judge's monster year kind of played into the price, of course, but I feel like that same thing will even go with Gleyber Torres in this offseason. Not that Gleyber is going to have a 62 home run season or anything like that, but I believe if they were, which they haven't, but if they were to even talk regarding extensions with Gleyber, it's probably going to be nothing really memorable or anything that Gleyber is going to want to accept. And then they're just going to really start the negotiations in free agency, especially with how coming out and saying this. And so we got all of this recent news that came out. And if we take that and we also just look at the Yankees roster, who do we have on our roster? We have Gleyber, of course, at second. You have DJ and Peraza that can both play second or third, and which DJ still has a couple of years on his contract. Peraza is super young and has good potential. And on top of that, even in our system, we've got shortstops that can probably pivot to third or second that are really, really good, like Lombard Jr. And I'm no missing a handful as well. And again, with Peraza being ready to essentially be an everyday player as of this season, but just because we have so many infielders, he doesn't have that necessarily guaranteed everyday spot. The Yankees probably aren't in a position where they feel like they need to sign Gleyber or re-sign or extend Gleyber in the same way that maybe they feel about Juan Soto. So obviously there's that talent level. You got Juan Soto and Gleyber going into free agency. You got Juan Soto just being a generational talent, us needing to fill in that outfield position much more than us needing to fill in that infield position that Gleyber Torres has. And though Gleyber Torres, I believe, is a top 10, even maybe top 5 second baseman in baseball, there's that idea that they need to fill in or need to guarantee that they could re-sign Soto, I believe, more than they need to feel like they need to guarantee Gleyber Torres. And I know a lot of people are going to come out and say, well, sign both, make it happen. The Yankees got the money. They do. But again, they're a business. I've said it. Many other content creators have said this. We got to be aware of this, that they're a business. And at the end of the day, what kind of investment are you going to want to make in your offseason? If you have a certain amount of money allocated in your offseason, what are you going to want to spend it on? You're going to want to spend it on first, guaranteeing that you get that generational talent in Juan Soto, no matter what that price tag may look like. And then you'll see if you have room for Gleyber. The last thing they want to do is sign Gleyber, bite themselves in the butt, and then now they are trying to scratch pennies and dimes to try to make this Juan Soto deal work, because we already have an idea of what Juan Soto is going to cost. But if he comes out and has, and it's possible, I'm not saying it will happen or it's not going to happen, but if he comes out, has a 40 home run season, 50 home run season, just a ridiculous season in his walk year, that's only going to make it way more money than what we even expected initially. So I'm pretty sure if the Yankees are smart, they're not going to want to have anything come interfering with them trying to re-sign Juan Soto. So I don't want to make this a Juan Soto episode, but I feel like that's all what's mainly holding, or partially a big part of what's holding up the Yankees from wanting to extend Gleyber is knowing what that value for Juan Soto is going to cost. Are they going to be able to do it? And kind of reevaluating from there. And may I add, I have a theory, a suspicion that the Yankees kind of want to take advantage or the opportunity of all of their walk years for all of their players to kind of allow them to perform to their best potential. Gleyber even said it himself. He knows he has something to prove, as he hasn't had an extension with the Yankees. Anthony Rizzo is going to be a free agent. Juan Soto is going to be a free agent. All of these players and much more, Clay Holmes, Loizaga, the Yankees probably haven't even decided to talk about extensions, so they could kind of feel like they don't have a job security. Especially if they want to play for the Yankees, they're going to have to perform well. And if they got that extension, they may not feel that same kind of drive. So the Yankees, I feel like, I know it sounds crazy to say, I want the Yankees to keep Gleyber, But the way they're handling it, I think, is excellent. It's very, very smart. I think this offseason has been great. If you've been hearing the sound bites from Hal and Brian Cashman as of recently, I think they're handling everything very, very well, which is not something I typically tend to say. So shout out to the front office. I don't think the Yankees are at all going to extend Gleyber. Now, I'm thinking as the days go by, they may not even re-sign Gleyber. And they don't, if you think about it, they don't need to. They don't need to. Let's say you say that Gleyber has a production level that Peraza doesn't have, won't have, or maybe hasn't reached yet. If you could sign Juan Soto and make sure you could guarantee you get Juan Soto will pick up that little bit of slack as Peraza figures it out offensively. So, and again, Peraza's young, much more affordable than Gleyber. So I could see why the Yankees haven't entertained it. I'm interested to know what you think. Do you think there's going to be an extension? I can almost guarantee there's not. Do you think they are going to re-sign? Do you think the Yankees are handling it right, handling it wrong? And let me know if you are going to be here for the first live show again this Friday, as of if you're watching this right now, this Friday, 7 p.m., the catch up. Everything regarding spring training and as of recent news, anything that we need to catch up on, we'll be discussing. Live Q&As. Everything is going to be super, super fun every Friday, 7 p.m. Stay tuned. Be there. And if you liked today's episode, please make sure you subscribe down below. It'll truly mean the world. Check out what YouTube suggests will be a great video for you. And also, The Martian wants you to subscribe. Judge wants you to subscribe. So make sure you do. And until next time, peace and be blessed.